What's up, guys? So, for this one, I have a few different things that I'm going to be briefly discussing, but I'm primarily just going to be taking a look back on a few different builds, a few of my favorites from Dark Souls 2, because with Dark Souls 3 right around the corner, not only have I been thinking about some new characters and new concepts, and things like that, but I've also been thinking about potentially recreating some of my favorites from Dark Souls 2, because towards the end there were a few builds that I grew quite attached to, not only just playstyle wise and all that, but backstory wise as well. So I'm going to be doing my best to figure out a way to recreate at least a couple of these guys as best as I can for Dark Souls 3. And what you're going to see here is mainly old clips that are from some older videos. You might recognize some of them. But there's a few clips in here, certainly, that I never got around to using for one reason or another. There's a few in here that I just don't remember even possessing. I don't remember fighting a few of these guys whatsoever. So it was pretty intriguing for me to go back and watch some of these. I was spending some time clearing my external hard drives because shit's out of control, basically, and I'm trying to prepare for Dark Souls 3. Doing some house cleaning, not only house cleaning in the sense that I'm cleaning my hard drives, but I'm doing some literal house cleaning as well. I have a crew coming in next week, actually, to clean my carpets in two of my rooms. I've mentioned this in videos past, but a couple videos past at least, but in case there's anyone listening that doesn't know this about me already, I have a 160-pound American Akita, a big-ass dog, basically. He's actually pushing 10 years old, but over time, he has sort of taken a toll on my living area. That's a mild way of putting it. So I've been really putting off getting these rooms cleaned for some time now, but the time has come. It's going to be during the same week that I'm playing Dark Souls 3. So that kind of sucks. I'm going to have like a day there where I'm not going to be able to play because I'm actually moving all of the stuff out of my entertainment room, because that's one of the rooms that's being targeted for cleaning, and I'm going to be moving that into a different area of the house, actually. But so there's going to be a day there where I'm actually not going to be able to play, so that kind of sucks, or I might not be able to play as much, but I have 3 days off for Dark Souls 3. I'm prepared this time, so I'm going to be doing my best to complete at least one build in those 3 days. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to be taking my sweet-ass time. I'm not going to be in any significant rush, but I'm just going to be trying to play a lot over those 3 days, right? So I'm hopeful at this point. And, after looking at some of that old stuff in the library and whatnot, it's had me, thinking about what kind of builds I'm going to be making at the start here. And right now I'm kind of leaning towards, I still might make just a brand new character right off the bat, because I already have some ideas going. But I'm kind of leaning towards recreating one of these guys, at least maybe not like an exact replica of one of these builds, but something very similar. Because, and I didn't really get to talk about my first build much because I've just been rambling, but, that first build with the Scythe of Want and the Pyromancy, its main stat was Attunement, which is something that was kind of funky, only in Dark Souls 2, man. But it really worked for me. The combo potential for Pyromancy was something that I really enjoyed, just the process of just making the build initially, figuring out, what do I want to follow up Flame Swathe with? Do I want to follow it up with a Forbidden Sun? Do I want to follow it up with a Combustion? So it's like, and after enough experience and enough knowledge of knowing when to cycle through certain spells and knowing which pyromancies were really going to suit my playstyle. So it kind of took me a while to figure out the combinations that I wanted. I did have quite a few slots to work with, but it took me a while to land on that preferred combination of pyromancies, and just that process of doing that was really nice in the early days of making the build and even PvPing at an early level. So that's something that I could definitely have some interest in for 3, especially if I'm looking to do some early invasions in Dark Souls 3, which I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure if I will or not. If I find a weapon that's really cool, or if I find something that's very inspiring to use and invade with early on, yeah, I'll probably be doing some early invasions, But if I don't, which, I guess it's a possibility, it might not be until late game, before I start looking to invade, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to be playing online, so the door is always going to be open to be invaded. And, I'm not really sure how much I'm going to be recording in the early days. I'll probably see just how much I'm being invaded early on before. Actually, I'll probably start recording early on in the hopes that I do get some early PvP. I guess, maybe within the first week of Dark Souls 3 being released, probably expect, at the very least, some sort of build update on my end, as you've seen in the past for Dark Souls 2 and whatnot. I'll probably do, at the bare minimum, just something basic, just letting you know what kind of character I've been developing and the type of PvP I've been having early on, if any, and just kind of my early thoughts. So we'll be doing that for sure. But we'll see. I've definitely got some things in the works for Dark Souls 3. I got some new ideas planned. And like I said early on, I've got some new characters planned out as well. Not only just design choices in terms of weapons and armor, but also thematic choices for backstory as well. And that's really what all of these characters are that you're seeing. Not every character I make has got any kind of backstory or lore significance for me. Certainly not, but there are, every now and then I'll have an idea for a character because I'm kind of a shitty writer at heart, so it's a thing. I make shitty characters. That's kind of what I do in my spare time. So it's kind of translates over into my Souls gameplay as well. So the characters that I do make, they have a name, they have a backstory, I care for them in one way or another, but not every build is like that. But the ones you're seeing here are definitely builds that are like that, and they're definitely worthy of being considered, to be reborn in Dark Souls 3 for me. And this is the one that, to me, is probably my favorite overall because, well, a few different reasons. But, in the end, gameplay-wise, I really, really enjoyed this build because of the strength versus weakness perspective. Playing with daggers isn't an easy feat, but you throw whips in the mix, and all of a sudden, the daggers get a lot stronger because people are trying to rush at you because you're using those whips, and all of a sudden they're in your face, and that's exactly where you want them to be with your daggers. And you throw something else in there like a parry dagger because you can't parry with 2 bandits knives. And then, it's a complete game changer because now people are really scared to attack you at all because, holy shit, you can whip out a parry dagger? I mean, how do you approach something like that? And, to me, this was really the most fun I had in the game just because of the payoff. Not only did I really not need criticals to win many of my fights, but having the criticals being so beefy as the payoff I mean, I really enjoyed that, and I was kind of sad when they got nerfed as harshly as they did. They were maybe a little overpowered, maybe, but and maybe they deserved a bit of a nerf, but I recall critting for like 300, 400 after the nerf, and it just kind of defeated the entire reward part of playing with daggers and limiting yourself, But we're out of time here, guys, and next time we see each other is going to be for Dark Souls 3, so take care, and I'll catch you soon.